The world we live in is experiencing fundamental changes. The triad of nation-states, religious institutions, and economic structures of overproduction and consumption face an unprecedented crisis of dysfunctionality. These core structures require deep examination to update the cultural formulas that will allow us to understand and transform our world.
In the 20th century, we witnessed the confrontation and exploration of the economic and political systems that polarized the world. Their legacy was a series of recurring crises in the financial institutions of capitalism and the political institutions of socialism.
Religious institutions face the dilemma of their ontological exclusivity, as well as the growing gap between the postulates of faith and the reason of science in constant evolution.
This is why, in the 21st century, the models that once served as a core of political, economic and religious life are leading to an erratic confusion in which mankind appears to have lost direction and the meaning of progress.
This shows us that neither religious institutions nor financial power or nation-states will establish the solutions to deal with the immense problems we face. Only through the recovery of our collective capacity to submit these institutions to trial will we be able to make the timeless ideas of humanity prevail.
At the core of these realities, an urgent need for a new educational model is essential, not only as a tool to transmit knowledge, but also as a permanent laboratory for reviewing and updating human thinking.
The emblematic coming of the new millennium, the end of the Cold War, the collapse of the communist system and the inefficiency of capitalism, the failure of dialogue between leaders of major religious faiths, and the persistence of war in all latitudes of the planet lead us to conclude that the educational process in these institutions must dramatically change. A new model of global education must be built. The Giordano Bruno Global Shift University emerges as a global initiative to respond to this need. Learning in our institution is based on transdisciplinary interaction in the entire dimension of critical thinking.
In this context, our students will embrace the spirit of anarchy of thought that in their time thinkers like Giordano Bruno and Buckminster Fuller applied to bend misleading paradigms that allow humanity to glimpse a new world.
Our institution was born as a transnational university without political, religious or economic boundaries, in consistency with the new era of globalization and with the spirit of a new awakening of human consciousness.
We focus on incubating a new generation of global citizens, prepared to understand the origins and current state of the world, with enough skill and knowledge to challenge the old paradigms responsible for the setbacks of modern civilization.
Thanks to remarkable advances in communications, particularly on the internet, our institution emerges as the first truly global online university with the mission of educating the new men and women who will dare to draw a line between past and future and create a better world for all. Our strategic associations with the Club of Budapest and Blackboard International will greatly strengthen our academic and technological excellence.
The Club of Budapest is an international association dedicated to developing a new way of thinking to resolve the challenges of the 21st century. With its roster of internationally renowned members, the club will provide outstanding faculty, such as Nobel laureates, former heads of state, philosophers and thinkers.
Our technological partner, Blackboard International, is the largest provider of cutting-edge technology for online education.
The platform developed for the Giordano Bruno Global Shift University is today the most ambitious and innovative project in the world in the realm of online education.
Our grand plan for international expansion
our university has designed a grand strategy for international expansion through a network of country and associate licensees that loan and administer the exclusive distribution rights to their specific national territories.
Our licensees, locally chosen among distinguished personalities in the field of education, understanding the opportunity that represents being part of a revolutionary global project of affordable education, will become agents of social change by contributing in their own countries to solving the world's complexities of the 21st century.
Unfortunately, global education today is still an exclusive privilege of the few. Higher education, even from the most affordable institutions, represents an enormous cost for regular families and an impossible dream for the majority. Millions of young graduates from secondary education around the world lack the time or money to continue their studies and enroll in a university because of today's pressing necessity to work full-time in order to economically sustain a family.
Frightening statistics show us that millions of young people will never have the privilege of accessing the traditional models of higher education. Today, of the world population aged 15 and over, there are 1.2 billion people who have completed secondary education, of which only 1/3 can only dream of having a place in tertiary education. Even public education in the most developed countries suffers from the economic strains of this demand.
In this global context, with the convergence of new and amazing internet technologies, nowadays it's finally possible to eliminate the traditional and usually most representative costs related to brick-and-mortar universities and open the possibility of offering a tertiary education of the highest quality at an incredibly affordable cost to anyone.
Having in mind that the global market for private higher education in 2009 was worth $400 billion and that there are 1.8 billion internet users in the world, which regularly belong to the medium and higher socio-economical stratus of the population, the potential students of the lower part of the pyramid that could eventually access this model of higher education is unpredictable and expected to grow even more in the coming years due to unstoppable demographics and an unbelievable increase in global demand. Becoming a citizen of the world.
Thanks to the Giordano Bruno Global Shift University's innovative pedagogical whole life system, our students will have the opportunity to engage in a social and academic interaction experience with cultures from every nation of the world, creating global bonds of lasting professional friendships while becoming true acting citizens of the world and belonging to a new generational membership of truly international students.
In this regard, our exclusive international accreditation will provide our graduates a competitive advantage to reach beyond a traditional local field of action towards global working opportunities in all sorts of organizations, such as government agencies, NGOs, multinational corporations, and many others that in turn expand their own borders throughout the global world we live in.
Giordano Bruno Global Shift University has designed 4 major schools and 1 more to encourage continuing education.
The Thomas More School of Government, Communications, Political Science and International Relations
will cover from the purely academical and philosophical studies of political disciplines to their application in public administration and its extension into international relations.
The Buckminster Fuller School of Economics, International Trade, Administration and Sustainable Development,
which will focus on sustainable development and human responsibility to balance production and consumption, making business management the art of generating wealth through environmental awareness and social responsibility.
The Erasmus of Rotterdam School of Theology, Philosophy and Religious Science,
to analyze and research the 3 major monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, in order to find areas of interchange to promote tolerance and respect for the great religious cultures of our world.
The Leonardo da Vinci School of Arts, Aesthetic Science and Cultural Products
addresses the problem of etiology and axiology of a language-sensitive culture, both in the study of history and the evolution of mankind.
The College of Continuing Education
will offer non-degree courses in these same areas to give students a magnified view of these disciplines.
The Giordano Bruno Global Shift University has the academic and financial support of the Giordano Bruno International Council for Education in Florence, Italy, and the academic and technical coordination of the Giordano Bruno Global Shift University Foundation in Washington, D.C.
Although our university was created as a virtual institution, we will have physical and administrative locations in each country, providing services to our students, such as academic and cultural events, to encourage participative collaboration and the creation of a spirit of solidarity amongst our future graduates.
Our dream at Giordano Bruno Global Shift University is to help form an emergent generation of awakened individuals who, by recognising the urgency and value of this revolutionary vision, will emerge as a community that will transform our civilization to create a better world.